When I mentioned 2013 as the end of that kind of period of a little bit of a break, and the reason is that you came back and did, for Scott Cooper, a movie that I think deserves to be seen more than it was, and that is called Out of the Furnace. And you have talked about, yeah, it's great. And Scott is, I talked to a lot of actors who really like working with him. I guess he started as an actor himself, maybe he still does it. And you said, though, that something else about that movie sort of caused you to fall in love again with film acting. And I wonder if you can share what that was.
Well, I hadn't worked. It's true. I hadn't worked in a long. I mean, it was a couple of years, I guess, of doing other things. And I went to Christian Bale was in that movie, and the first day of shooting was a scene where I go to visit him in jail. And I didn't know Scott. I didn't know much about him, but I saw his movie, and I really liked it. And I liked how he talked about the script and so forth, and how But I was feeling rusty a bit, like Michelle was talking about earlier. I was feeling sort of self-conscious and rusty, and I said, we were doing this first scene, and like so many movies, there was no rehearsal period, so you just show up there, and you're just expected to sort of be the guy, and we did the first half of the day, and it was just terrible, and Christian Bale, who's really one of my favorite actors, was great. And very grounding. It was nice, comforting to be in a scene with him because he just seemed like the person sitting there. It made it easy to have a conversation with him. There wasn't any like sort of artifice or hoopla around it. He was just sort of talking to me. But still, I felt like I wasn't there. And so I just told him. I said, "Listen, I just met him, and I said, I'm really sorry. This scene isn't going well. I feel responsible. I just feel like very lost." And he kind of perked up and he said, "Oh man, Lost is great. Lost is a great place to be. Just stay lost." And it was encouraging. I thought like, okay, great, I'm lost. Boom, I'm killing it now. I'm lost. Christian said I was on the right track. Lost is the, and so I think what he meant by that was not to be so, know what you're doing all the time and sort of watching yourself in that way. And it was totally right, and it's why he's one of our best actors. And then I started working more. I did that movie, and I really had a great time with those guys. And
yeah, you were back.